and welcome to episode 31 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. Hi, today is Friday the 9th of May 2025. My name is Laura, and if you are joining me for the first time, welcome, hi, come on into the chaos. If you're a returning viewer, hi, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you all. If you have ever watched me before, you may know that this is not where I have been recording recently. I usually record at Folk Yarn Studio, which is my workspace. I am a yarn dyer and a yarn festival director from Lowestoft, which is the most easterly town in England. But today I am clearly not at Folk Yarn Studio. I am sat in my house outside my bedroom on the landing. I have been trying to find a spot. This is not the most well lit spot. I have brought one light with me, but not all the lighting from the studio, because everything that could go wrong this week has gone wrong this week. It's really weird to be recording here. Like, it's not even been that long that I've been back regularly recording a podcast, but it's been a work thing, not a home thing now. And I always used to obviously record my podcast at home, but yeah, definitely feels weird. So we're off track. It's all going to be a jumble because everything's a little bit different, but I didn't want to miss a week recording because I had planned to do the podcast. It's just everything kept going wrong. So if you are new here or just want a little refresh, I am the Lonely Knitter. I dye yarn as the Lonely Knitter. I do my dyeing, and I also stock Folk Yarn, which is my own yarn line that I make from East Anglian wool. Usually that is all in Folk Yarn Studio, which is my closed studio space that I open up just for the odd day or stitch nights and stitch mornings, which is a couple of minutes walk from the most easterly point in England. And usually you can hear lots of seagulls in the background, and I'm about 10 minutes away from there, but there aren't as many seagulls right here. So we won't have seagulls today, I don't think. Little bits of admin before I crack on. First one being, if you want to see anything to do with Folk Yarn Studio, my hand-dyed yarn, or any of the other things that I stock, the links will be below. If you are interested in looking at East Anglia Yarn Festival, which is my annual Norwich show that I organise at the Norfolk Showground Arena, that also has the link for the website below. The applications for vendors are currently open. So if you are a small business that would like to vend, or if you know any small businesses that you would really like to see in Norwich next March, send them that way because applications are open. So those are my two websites. You can find me as Folk Yarn Studio on socials. I'm more active on Instagram than Facebook, but I'm not that active on Instagram. The best place to find me is my Discord group, the Folk Yarn Studio Hangout. The link for that will be below as well. That is a free, fun, friendly little space, community space where we chat all things yarny, crafty stuff, life. And that brings me on to Makealongs. I have a 5 minutes a day Makealong thread channel thing in the Discord where we just check in with what we're making, and it's a nice way to share our projects with each other. I see everyone else's lovely things they're making, and I always want to cast a new thing on. I also have prize draw threads in there, so if you make something that is 50% or more my yarn, that's Lonely Knitter yarn or Folk Yarn, you can enter it into that prize draw thread, and quarterly I draw prizes from there. There's other channels there as well where we chat about all sorts of different things, so if you'd like to join, the link for that is below as well. I have one sort of official Makealong that's going on right now, something a little bit different, which is the That Grimble Together Makealong that I am co-hosting with my lovely friend Helen of the Giddy Knits podcast. We are making gnomes from the Knit Patterns by Sarah Schira. That's Imagine Landscapes online, and I am specifically working through the Gnomes of Grimblewood book. You don't have to work through the book, but if you make any gnomes in the period that we are making gnomes, you don't have to make one every month. It's nice and chill, but if you do make a gnome, you can enter it in the threads in both my Discord and Helen's and be in with a chance of winning prizes there too. So I am going to jump straight into the podcast now. So we will usually go through finished objects, but I don't have any this week. Then we're going to whips, plans, stash enhancement. I show you one featured product, different thing that I have in the shop at the moment, and then reading, watching, and life stuff. So I'm going to get started. As I said, I don't have any finished objects. However, I am very close. I did think I was going to get there, but as I have already said, and as I will finish saying at the end in life stuff, it has not been my week. Nothing has gone right. Everything has gone a bit skew-whiff. So this is not finished, but it definitely will be next week. Oh, I haven't said what I'm wearing. That's a thing people do. I should do that. I am wearing, I believe this is a colouring book raglan, but I might be completely wrong because my brain is also skew-whiff. But this is made from Lay Family Yarn. I made this quite a while ago. It's actually, it's got a lot of room in it now because obviously my size has changed, but I still love it. I wear it around the house. It was a little bit chilly when I came in from outside because it's very sunny again and warm, and in the house it's not as warm. So I just put this on over the top of my dress, and it's a DK weight stripy jumper. I messed with the pattern to keep the stripes going all the way down the body because I think the pattern only had stripes to like here, or maybe it was just on the body. I don't know. I did a thing, and it's DK weight yarn from Les Family Yarn, and I love it. And it was a set of 20 gram minis and then a solid colour. I got it ages ago at a Les Family Yarn retreat, and I can't remember the colours. I feel like this might have been like Tiger's Eye. I'm probably making that up completely. Anyway, so I am wearing a knit today, but my first whip is the Granny Bells wrap top by Matteucci. I really hope I've not butchered that, but I will put the name on the screen. And I am inside out. Yes, I am. I am inside out. Okay, this is a free crochet pattern, and this is where I am. In fact, I will take this off, which is going to be a pain because I need to move my mic. Okay, it's off, but now I'm going to put this one on. Okay, so this is not coming out exactly as I thought it would. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be, but I've checked and I didn't get my measurements wrong or anything, but it's fine. It's just going to be like a throw on over things sort of top. It has a million ends to weave in. It is not finished. So the wraps are wrapping a lot more than I thought. And I think when I do it, I'm going to end up tying it in the back because they're almost touching at the back, but I haven't got my measurements wrong. Yeah, and that's with the sleeves sort of doing this. So, but again, this might not be anything to do with the pattern. It might be user error because I am not the most experienced crocheter when it comes to shaping and things like that. I am more of a knitter than a crocheter, and I want to do all the crochet, but I learnt from a book when I was a child, and I have never, it's just, knitting clicks for me in a way that crochet always seemed like a mystery. First of all, this one has more rounds than this one because I am not done. This is the bit I did not finish. I only have like 2 more rounds that I was going to do to I think I need 2 more to match it to this one. And then I was thinking about stopping. I thought I might go to about here, but then it's now getting warm, and a little bit of me thought I might wear it now like this, and then as it cools down, add a bit more length on. I don't know. If you have made this pattern before, you might see that the sleeves are not coming out the way the pattern tells you to do it. That is because I decided that I wasn't that keen on how the pattern does the sleeves. When I looked at the picture that's like the back of the sleeves, they're very flared out at the back, and where at the front it looks like it has a certain shape, at the back it didn't look like that at all, and I think it's just how the picture's been taken. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I'm going to catch those sleeves on everything. I'm the clumsiest person going. I'm going to catch them on literally everything. So yeah, I'm going to do more fitted sleeves and probably shorter, but maybe I'll add on to the length when the weather turns. I don't know. I showed it to my 8-year-old who went, "It's got a lot of holes in it, Mum." And I had to assure her that that is what was meant to happen. I am making this out of Yennefer of Vengerberg, which is a colourway by the Fibre Fox in DK weight yarn. I love this yarn. I love this colour. I don't know if you can see it. Am I focusing? Probably not. Yeah. I love it. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice, and I'm really glad that I have made this. I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it, but at the moment it is not quite there. I need to weave in all the ends. I need to finish the second sleeve and then put the ties on. Now the pattern has you do just a crochet chain and use that as the tie. I don't want to. It's going to bug me every time I try and knot it. I know that every little chain bump and then trying to pull it tight is going to bug me, and I'm probably going to end up snapping the yarn because I'm going to be pulling it tight and getting cross, and I don't know, it's just not what I want to do. I'm thinking about ribbon that I can thread through it. I've got ribbon at work that I can try it out with. So next week my aim is to have this completely finished and possibly have ribbons for ties and be wearing it. We'll see. This is still living in my gorgeous Pigment and Ply flowery bag. I will be sad when this is done because it is a pretty project, but at the same time I am ready to have more projects, and I only have one other whip to show you. Now, when I sold my advent calendars, I said that I was writing a shawl pattern to go with my advent. I am testing that shawl pattern out with a Crafty Bird advent. It's the Northern Lights Crafty Bird advent that I've had in my stash, and I decided I was going to get my sample started. I don't know if people would want it to be a secret what the pattern looks like for December for when they get their advent. So what I'm going to say is it's not, to be fair, there's not a huge amount of the pattern done so far, so you wouldn't get much of a spoiler. But if you don't want to see it, look away now. Be looking away, don't be looking. And I'll tell you when to look back, so don't look. Anyway, this is it. So don't look back. But this is my Crafty Bird advent calendar, and it started with Northern Lights, and I'm now onto my second, there we go. I'm now onto my second colour. I haven't done a lot, but it is a lot of, oh, now my cushion's fallen down. I haven't done a lot, but it is a lot of knitting that I can do without huge amounts of concentration. So you can look back now, it is gone. It's a little bit of knitting that I can do without a huge amount of concentration because I planned it out all already. And a lot of the rows are done in stitches that I can do while I'm watching the TV and not have to be deadly focused on all the time like I have to be with crochet, because I can't do that one without looking. So it definitely filled my need for a slightly more potato chip knit that I could do out and about as well. But as it grows, that might change. As it grows, it'll be bigger and heavier and it won't be as portable. So those are my 2 whips. That's it. This is going to be the shortest podcast ever. But I do have some plans. Last week, I told you that I wanted to pick yarn to cast on my Gnatalia gnome. So this is Gnatalia, which is the colourwork gnome. I have decided to make this one in DK. And I have the undyed already balled up because this is the skein that I was working from for my DK weight mini skein blanket, the Sweet Shop minis that I used. So this is the undyed. Then I said last week that I would pick the colours for the rest of Gnatalia, and I have. So I have these. So I chose these out of my stash. These are all part balls from different projects that I've done for samples and bits and bobs for the studio, and this is all my own hand-dyed yarn. I don't have these as a set at the moment, but if people wanted them, I could make that happen. These 3 are all from my Tim Burton inspired collection that I did last year, and this was from a Saturday night at the movies. It's the Jane Eyre, the tonal that went with my Jane Eyre colourway. So I have these 4. I would like to have this cast on for next week. I'm not guaranteeing that Gnatalia will be finished, but if I could have it cast on, I'll be happy. So yeah, Gnatalia is my main gnome for my gnome plan for the Friends That Grimble Together Makealong. Last week, I also mentioned that I would like to do a crochet thing for my little girl, and that is still in the plans, and I will show you what I'm thinking in a little while. It actually ties in with something that I'm going to be showing you in a bit. I also think I might have said something about casting on some socks, which I do still want to do, or finding some socks that just need a bit worked on, just so I have a portable sort of vanilla project to walk around with. But as I said, my Advent wrap is filling that need right now, so I haven't done that yet, but that probably will happen in the next week. And then there is a secret project that I'm not allowed to talk about at all that is nothing to do with work, but it's going to be taking up a lot of my evenings over the next week. So I actually don't know how much I'm going to get done next week. It might even be a case of I have to have a week off the podcast because I haven't got anything to tell you. Okay, I'm on to stash enhancement, and I do actually have stash enhancement. This is going to be a really short episode. Okay, I feel like it's been a few weeks since I've had anything that I've bought, but I have bought. So this past weekend, I went to it was a craft market, like a maker's market. It was a maker's market, that's what it was, near Southwold, which is quite near where I live. And as I was walking around, I spotted yarn. And there was a stand with beautiful wooden items, like wood-turned things and chairs, and just really pretty. And then on some crates, there was stacked up a load of yarn in skeins. And I was like, hand-dyed yarn. And I went straight over there, and behind the stand was somebody that I knew. So a lovely lady from my Studio Stitch Nights, Julie, had not told me that she does this. And I was like, you dark horse. It was her husband's business, I believe, that's the wooden things. And then she had the little crafty bits that were with it. And I was, So I'm going to show you these. So this is what I bought. So this is Wild and Wonderwool, which is Julie. And I don't believe she sells online. She was telling me that her yarn, in fact, I'm going to get up. She was telling me that her yarn, it's all naturally dyed. So this is Julie's yarn, Wild and Wonderwool. It's beautiful, and it's hand dyed, but it's naturally dyed, which I don't do and I think is an absolute genius. So I grabbed 2 Merino DK 50 gram skeins. This one, which I cannot pronounce, I'm going to put the words of what they're dyed with on the screen because this first one I can't. Something and Saxon Blue and Logwood were these 2 colours, and she was telling me all about it and how it's hard to replicate the way she does it. She does it solar dyeing, and she had kits for solar dyeing where you have a glass jar and all the stuff to do the dyeing and put it in the sun, and it's just fascinating and clever and amazing. So I had to grab 2 skeins because I was just absolutely amazed, and they will be something special at some point, probably hand warmers or something at some point, because amazing. I did grab a couple of other things. A braiding wheel kit, so it has the yarn and then this gorgeous little wooden circle. I've done kumihimo braiding before, which was on like a little foam disc with notches taken out of it, and yeah, this is a really cute like wooden one, and I thought I would put it in the studio for maybe in the summer when Ellie or Alfie wants a little something to do. Probably Ellie, I mean age wise she's probably more likely to want to do it, and she can have a little go at braiding with it. If not, I'll just keep it for me. And then I have a couple of other things. So if you are Sharon or Brendy, you need to look away. Now, don't look away. I'll tell you when you can look back, Sharon, Brendy. So 2 of my lovely friends, we do a swap throughout June where we open little things throughout June each year because we all have our birthdays in June. And Julie also had a couple of other things. I'm not going to say what they are in case Sharon and Brendy are being very good, but they are these that I'm going to be putting in with their parcels. And still don't look back, ladies, you'll be spoiled. These that Julie's lovely husband makes. So that's everything I bought. That's my stash enhancement. Quite a lot of it is not for me, but the yarn was. Sharon and Brendy, you can look back if you were looking away. Okay, so that was my stash enhancement for the week. Now I'm on to featured product, and then I get into reading, writing and life stuff. So I have brought home something from the studio to show you this week. Technically it's 2 things, but they do go together. So this is something that I have been stocking at the studio for a while. This is the Granny Square card deck by Claire Montgomery, and I love them. They're a card deck. It's a card deck of different granny squares. I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. It's nicely packaged, and yeah, it's in the book section of my website. So I have been meaning to get this out and actually make squares from. Now this kind of ties with my wanting to make Ellie a crochet thing to wear, because I'm going to be using these to pick my granny square designs. But it's a couple of things, because the Granny Square Flowers card deck, also by Claire Montgomery, has now been released. It only came out last week, and I do have some of them in stock. They actually only came today, even though I ordered them at the start of April. It's something that I really want to use, and I thought I'd talk about them because they are on the website as well, so the links are below. I'd gone through the flowers deck because there's a bunch of squares in here that I would really like to use for my thing for Ellie, whatever I make her. I've picked out a few that I really liked, and I'm going to take pictures and put them up because this is going to take me ages to go through them all and hold them up and make sure they're all focused. So I really liked Chamomile, Dianthus, Camellia, Peony, Water Lily, Anemone, Buttercup, Cosmos, and Irish Rose. I do like them all, but those are the ones that really stuck out to me. And the other thing that I'm really looking forward to learning with these is the charts. So I don't want to give away anything, but if I just show you a little piece of this, you can see they are the crochet charts to make the squares. And there is a little booklet that comes with the deck. Here we go. There is a little booklet that comes with the deck that explains everything. So it has an introduction about the squares, the stitch chart symbols, and then a reading a stitch chart, like little instruction booklet that has lots of diagrams. And yeah, hopefully I can crack this, right? I can crack this. I want to learn how to use a chart for crochet and actually make the granny squares. So as I'm going to be using them, I thought I would bring them along to the podcast for this week.
Hi. Scenery change, costume change, everything change. It is now almost 9:30 at night, and I am sitting in the corner of my bedroom, my very messy, half decorated, we've lived here for 8 years but never find the time, bedroom, next to my incredibly messy bookshelves. I'm so sorry if as I move around it's quite noisy because I'm on a beanbag chair as well, but this is the quiet corner of my house where I can shut the door and hopefully not disturb a sleeping child. And hopefully as well you'll still be able to hear me because mic, which I have not clipped onto my top, because when I had it this close to my neck it was picking up every single little swallowing sound, which was really gross. So earlier I was recording out on my landing because thing after thing after thing had meant that that's what I had to do this week. And then one of my neighbours came home on their motorbike, and I'm not unsympathetic because I ride a motorbike. But it was a very noisy motorbike that they sat on their driveway right next to my house with the engine on, running for 15 minutes. And by the time they left, it wasn't very long until I had to leave to go on the school run, and I knew I wouldn't be able to finish everything before it was time to go. But it's life. I'm trying not to be a grump. And instead, after the kids went to bed, I edited the bit of video that I already had, and then I thought I would sit down and record the last little bit once my little ones were asleep, and I had a couple of minutes. Anyway, before I got to the point where I had to shut off my camera earlier, I think I was at the point where I was going to talk about what I've been watching, what I've been reading, and then life stuff. So it's only the last little bit that I had missed out on recording. I have finished a book. It is my audio book. So the book that I have finished is It Just Me by Miranda Hart. Now this was a book that I was concerned that I wouldn't get on well with because Miranda Hart has quite a chatty style, quite a bonkers style. She bounces about all over the place, which is actually very me. But because my brain is also doing that all the time, I was worried that I wouldn't keep up with her brain doing that whilst my brain also did that. I needn't have worried. It was great. When my attention span wandered, her bonkers behaviour kind of brought it back in every time. And actually, from what has been a really chaotic week, the time that I have been listening to that and working was my most concentrated and calm time throughout the week, and it was only a couple of hours, so that's really saying something. So yeah, it's now finished. I'm not sure what audiobook I want to pick up next. I haven't got that many left in my library that I haven't listened to, and yeah, I haven't decided yet. I know Miranda Hart has some other books. I think I'm happy to have a little bit of a change and save them for the future. I don't have them yet, I'd have to buy them anyway. I also wrote down a quote to share with you from quite near the end of Is It Just Me? This one sentence, and it resonated with me, so I wrote it down. I think it's sad when people stop dreaming or start losing hope, because holding on to the bonkers dream might just be the most marvellous thing you ever did. Yeah, it is so right. There's so many times that I've felt like I was losing hope on stuff, and there still is now a lot of times, and you just got to keep going, haven't you, and not give up. And yeah, it's so soppy, and I know it's soppy, but it really, really resonated with me, and I thought it was lovely, so I wrote it down. I'm not sure I ever thought that I would be repeating pearls of wisdom on the internet from Miranda Hart. To be honest, all the way through her book, I was resonating with so much of what she did, her ridiculousness. I know last week I mentioned my incident at just before my brother's housewarming party, where I walked into his next door neighbour's house dressed as a laundry basket, and stuff like that. Ridiculous things seem to happen to me all the time. And they don't happen to me, I happen them. And it's kind of nice to listen to that book and feel like ridiculousness is happening with other people as well. So yeah, I finished that book. It was really good. I haven't picked up another audiobook yet, and I am still reading The Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren. It's late. I have literally written down the titles of my books and the authors if you see me looking down, because I am that tired. I'm reading that one on my Kindle. I'll be honest, I haven't read more than a couple of pages this week because I've just been swamped and tired. And then I'm also reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, which is the Hunger Games book. It's President Snow's story. It's the one that came out as a movie a little while back. Again, I've only read a few pages of that. I'm just a bit burnt out this week. Yeah, this week has definitely been a week where it feels like everything is happening to me and I'm not in control, which is silly, and I need to get that control back. But I will talk about that in life stuff. So that's my reading. For watching, I have watched the most recent episode of Doctor Who. I am keeping up with that. I am really enjoying having an episode each week. This week's episode, I don't want to give spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but you'll know what I mean if you do watch it, that certain episodes with certain people and not with others. For me, I find them slightly less enjoyable, but they were still good. But I know I prefer to be with a certain person. You'll know what I mean. That's probably spoilers. That's probably the most bizarre way to say anything. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It wasn't my favourite episode, but I did enjoy it. I've also watched A Race Across the World, the second episode of the series that is out now. It gripped me more than the first episode. I think we've got a couple more stacked up to catch up on, and I am starting to get more into it. I liked the first few series. I don't know why I just didn't click on the first episode. Haven't been able to watch more because me and Chris just haven't had any time. He's been absolutely swamped with work as well, so we've both been working in the evenings. And it's more admin stuff and sort of trying to work on things, so it's not been like the fun creative evenings that I would love to be having. So that was everything reading and watching. Life stuff. I mean, we've come off Easter holidays, 2 weeks off. Then there was a bank holiday straight after the Easter holiday, 2 weeks off. So we had a short week, 4-day week. Then there was another bank holiday. And we've had another short week, 4-day week. So I'm just feel like I'm constantly playing catch up. So the weather went a bit naff on the bank holiday weekend, and we were in the house mostly sorting everything out. And I have made a decision about this corner. So this corner, this bookcase was here, and I did not have this beanbag chair. I now have this beanbag chair. I love it. It's amazing. I've been in this house for 8 years, and it's always been expensive, and we've got little kids, and you know, our room's always been not a priority because you want to get everything else nice and get the kids' rooms nice and things like that. Anyway, this space was going to have a dressing table. Would I really use a dressing table, or will I fill all the drawers up with stuff and I'll just have a bunch of junk drawers? And will I pile the top high with stuff I need to sort at some point and never will? Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's exactly what's going to happen. Why am I doing this to myself? So I decided I have books tucked away in places all over the house, but no actual bookshelf place for me. And I've been looking at Billy bookcases. I don't really have a lot of space. I don't have anywhere else that I could have my own little booky, reading, knitty corner. That's what we did this weekend. We just got back into control of the house. It was definitely controlling me. I wasn't controlling it. And then on the bank holiday, we had my niece and nephew round for the afternoon, and they made pizzas. We did homemade pizzas and things like that with all 4 children, and it was really lovely. They were so well behaved. It was so lovely. But by the end, I was just knackered. Now, when I say things have gone wrong, it's like I've been cursed this week. There's been a lot of noise at work, and it's not all been doom and gloom. But yeah, it just feels like I was in quite a good place, and I plan to do something, and that plan gets disrupted, so I reorganise. And then that reorganised plan gets disrupted, so I reorganise. And then that reorganised plan gets disrupted, and then I'm in panic mode going, no, this is not how I wanted my week to go, and I just need one thing to be accomplished. Other than that, Alfie ran a mini marathon at school. He's only 5, but they ran 30 laps and collected sponsorship to raise money for school outside play equipment. And he told me that his teacher ran the marathon as a shark with funny little legs. And I just thought he was tired and a little bit delirious. And then the pictures were put onto Facebook, and there was his teacher wearing one of those inflatable costumes, and it makes it look like you're riding on the shark. And he was right. I just couldn't picture it when he said it. On this Thursday just been, it was VE Day. I went to talk to my kids about what VE Day was. Both of them could talk about it, so I thought it was really lovely that the primary school have obviously talked about it as well and incorporated into their lessons this week. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else I can think of. It's really late, so I'm just rambling now. If you have got all the way to the end of this, well done you, especially considering how jumbled up I actually am. How about you leave me an emoji if you've managed to get this far through the video of a flower, any flower, because it was the flower decks. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you have a lovely week. I hope you have a crafty week. And thank you, as always, for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.